Chicago, one of the biggest cities in America. Population 2.7 million. What comes to mind when you say Chicago? You'll get as much answers as people you ask. From Scarface to improv comedy, the blues, house music, jazz, hip-hop, soul, the architecture, the Bears Super Bowl win in the 80s. That stuff. Chicago is a place that needs no other city to define itself. It's got its own way of doing things without much influence from anyone else. Now, just to compare, if in New York it feels like you're on coffee all the time, then Chicago would feel more chill, much more relaxed, cool, steady. Chicago is huge, it's expressive, it's fervent. I spent some of my childhood in Illinois, and I go back to the state often. This does feel like home, yet it feels like being a stranger in a familiar place. I never really got the chance to get into any scene here for moving about so much, and now I decided to delve into another aspect of the city, a scene that I love dearly. We're here to check out the Chicago Moto Scene. This time of the year, the afternoons give way to the night much later. I head off to 5-Star Bar over at West Chicago Avenue.
Hey guys, nice bike!
Every first Monday of the month, they have Motorcycle Mondays. They have different themes each time, from Japanese bike nights to British bike nights. Tonight, I chanced upon Italian Bike Night. Show up in one, and you're eligible to win the Bike of the Night award.
And sporting the Moto Guzzi polo shirt, Chris, what's up? How you doing?
Doing really well, my friend.
You got something for me?
I do. A Motorcycle Monday pitch.
Yeah, this is so awesome. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
How's the scene here?
Scene in Chicago is amazing. There's many people that just love to ride, and all types of bikes. Anybody that is on two wheels is more than welcome at any of our events.
Which one's your bike?
I have the green Thruxton down there.
Oh, can you tell me about it?
Sure. Yeah.
Awesome paint job.
Thank you.
Who did it?
Chicago Chris of the Slaughghterhouse Car Club. He had only been painting for about 5 years when he painted it, but it's not just a paint job and a pipe. Got a hot cam. I rebuilt the top end on the motor. It's got high compression pistons and a bigger bore. It's basically a 70s race bike.
If you were to rate the custom moto scene in Chicago, 1 to 10, 10 being the highest.
Custom scene that's a big question, and it really depends on what you're talking about. But overall, I'd say the custom scene is really coming up here right now on a scale of 1 to 10, a solid 7 or an 8.
Another event I checked out was Moto Social, which originated in Canada, and they exist to build community and to build camaraderie. This happens in Toronto, Ottawa, Montreal, Vancouver, Edmonton, New York, San Francisco, Hamburg, Budapest, Cape Town, Auckland, and of course, Chicago. Everyone's welcome, everyone's invited, bike or no bike, good vibes only. Their hashtag, don't be a dud, be a bud. We head off to Heritage Bicycles in North Lincoln Avenue for this. And this is where I met the moped guys.
Should I take my helmet off?
No, your helmet's fine.
Oh, all right.
How are you, Charlie?
All right. How are you, Zach?
Quite the arrival you guys had. I missed it though. That's why I whipped out my camera.
They're all mopeds. They all have pedals.
Okay.
So if you run out of gas, you can keep on pedaling. A lot of them are old because they stopped making them in the United States. They're all two-cycles too, and nobody makes two-cycle bikes anymore.
You're right. Well, I'm glad you guys are keeping them alive and running.
Oh yeah, thanks.
So for the most part, they're vintage two-stroke mopeds. We ride once a week. We get anywhere from 10 dudes to 20, 25 dudes and ride every week.
Is there a name for your group?
Nope. We're just weekly rides.
Just
with
get
the
along
group,
because of
man.
the mopeds, huh?
We just get a bunch of mopeds together.
The other guys who are in Illinois, Chicago, they want to join your group. Is there a page or a group page they can hang out in?
There's a Facebook page called Chicago Weekly Moped Meetup. It's all spelled weird. And then there's Chicago Moped Enthusiasts. So it's kind of a mix between them all, but anybody that wants to come out and ride, we encourage it.
I got to meet a lot of the movers and shakers of the Chicago moto scene.
Lounge, water, sodas, coffees right behind you there. Make yourself at home. Mi casa, su casa.
Here's one of them. Meet Johnny from Chicago Motorworks.
Okay, so Motorworks, you guys have been around since 2004. How was it back then and now? How would you compare? I mean, you guys are very lifestyle oriented. I see your guys going around, hanging out, bike nights and all of that.
Well, you know, there's a lot of years between 2004 and 2018, and a lot of changes in the motorcycle scene and motorcycle community and whole dynamic. In 2004, when we started, there were no franchise opportunities. You know, there were, 15, maybe 20 motorcycle dealerships. And for myself as a motorcycle enthusiast, you know, these stores generally wouldn't work on bikes that were over 5 years old. And from where I sat, at least as an enthusiast, there wasn't a lot of love in their game.
Well, that's Motorworks. What are you guys busy with?
Oh gosh, we've got a lot of stuff going on. The motorcycle community here is pretty small, tight, cool scene that's very inclusive. I mean, small, high quality, you know, versus big, mid-quality. Yeah, I'll take the former.
Yep, so far I've been seeing a lot of quality. Moto Blot, spearheaded by Larry from the Ton Up Club. I met him in one of his events called Pints and Pistons over at the Cobra Lounge over at North Ashland Avenue.
Hello, Larry.
Nice to meet you.
I've heard so much about you. I know they call you the mayor of motorcycles here. That's what, I was once talking to one guy and he said, yeah, Larry, you know, if there's a mayor for motorcycles here, that'd be the guy. So I'm quite pleased to be right in front of you right now.
Thank you.
Interesting story. From Mods vs. Rockers 2005, you guys were spearheading that. You guys were adjusting to the times. I mean, Moto Blot is a nice name. I think it can change to anything, and Moto Blot will still be Moto Blot.
Exactly. No, that's one of the reasons why I like the theme or the word, was because it can basically be wherever it takes us. You know, as moto culture evolves, and it continues to evolve. I mean, with electric bikes, or who knows what's going to be the next hot thing, but we want to stay relevant in the industry
and it's about it being a gathering.
Exactly.
Okay.
You know, and it's really about Chicago gathering too. It's unique. Chicago's event, Moto Blot's an event that's kind of unique in Chicago because we really bring the culture together with the music and the clubs and the fashion, and we try to keep it relevant. Lifestyle, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
you definitely have a great range. So the Ton Up Club is more cafe racers and stuff like that. So it's a great range. We even have the Bleeders, which is a woman's shopper club.
The
and
Bleeders.
Cafe racer. The Bleeders, right?
Something they go through every month there.
Exactly. So yeah, no, it's awesome because, like I said, there's a lot of diverging clubs and culture here. It's a 3-day event. It always happens the weekend after Father's Day. So 2019 is the 21st to 23rd of June. And it's basically a 3-day street festival. Like I said, we close 4 blocks of Fulton Avenue here. And we have 30 bands and 90 vendors. And we just take over the street here. And we invite all clubs, all riders, anything on 2 wheels, 4 wheels. This year we had a lot of 3-wheelers. It's interesting to see it evolve, but it's basically a celebration of the culture.
Okay, all right. Cheers.
Cheers. Thank you.
Scooters. Anyone who knows me knows that this is my foundation on 2 wheels. We now go to Reggie's Music Joint in South State Street to check out the Slaughghterhouse Scooter Rally.
Oh my God, nice scoot. Is this yours?
This is mine, yes.
Wow, super nice. So tell us about what's going on tonight.
So this is Slaughterhouse. This is the Midwest's oldest, longest running rally. It's mainly vintage Vespas and Lambrettas. So this is our 24th year, and we're out here at Reggie's. It's a little rainy, so we're hoping some more people are gonna show up. But we do Labor Day weekend, 3 days of riding and fun activities.
Everyone stand around and watch for Mo.
I
like to call him Dante. And now we pray. Break my bike, I'm gonna fuck you in the ass.
One of our main draws for Slaughterhouse is we do a midnight ride downtown Chicago through all the streets because they're empty, and then we can go and kind of show people the underground part of Chicago.
Is this gas off? I don't know, choke's on. Is gas off? Okay. Is it off? Not good for starting? Yeah. Well, let's turn it on and see if something happens. If you're riding and you can hear me, can I see you, please? We're all riding? Welcome to Chicago, motherfuckers! So, if you've never ridden in a group before, this is the worst first group for you to ride with. I'm sorry to break that to you. Chicago streets suck a fat old donkey dick. We're talking potholes, we're talking grates, we're talking weird seams that go on for a half a mile that your tires will get stuck in. All right? There's a lot of shit to watch out for. Be kind to each other. Point with your toe when you see a thing that will kill the person behind you. We're gonna ride staggered, right? Stay the fuck out of each other's blind spots. Not everyone's got mirrors. Not everyone looks at their mirrors. So fucking ride staggered. Don't be in a blind spot. Cool? This is good?
Ready for it?
This is good? We're all good on this? All right, cool. I got a bike at home too.
Chicago also finds its moto scene mixing up art and wheels. Back at the Cobra Lounge, we have an event called Bikes and Burlesque.
You want to see Sally take it off?
Pretty self-explanatory.
All right, Sally.
Hi, I'm Sally Marvel. I'm the producer of Bikes and Burlesque here at Cobra Lounge. We try to find a variety of bodacious babes with different talents, whether they're strictly burlesque or they're somewhere in the variety realm, circus, sideshow. We're always trying to create dynamic entertainment that varies from month to month.
I'm not sure if you want to see motorcycles at this point, but yeah, of course there were motorcycles. At this point, I would like to give a shout out to the guy who hooked me up with everybody. This episode would have been a pain to make without him. This is Jordan, yes, the other Jordan of Chicago. He moved here back in the 80s and has been part of the moto scene since. His forte? Vintage scooters.
What? That's all yours?
Yes, that's the other half. The one I showed you earlier, and you may Harley.
He's still connected to the mods and rocker guys in Manila. Jordan, maraming salamat po.
All right, cheers.
Yes. All right, cheers. Thank you. Welcome to Chicago.
Chicago.
You know, it's just impossible to go to all the moto events here. It's overwhelming, to be quite frank. I could really only give you a thin slice of the pie. The moto scene here is inclusive and welcoming. It's vibrant and sincere. Feels more like home now. Way to go, Chicago. This is Zach for Mocking Around the World. Ciao.